heading here to Sunfall. Now, what do I want to do here? Because I think it's just Sunfall where we need that extra armor. But we'll go from there. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna have to go all the way down. And of course, give me that one.
Get on with it. I'll find a use for you. Tough, but I'm used to it. I need to be closer to use that. Calm, calm. Just go about your business.
Come on. Ooh. Everything just popped. Yes, that's exactly where I want you to go. Perfect. Anything I missed? I'll go over here. Thank you. Alright, where are we in the map? Okay. Maybe we'll mark that quickly. Since we're like right here. But I think we got machines up there too, right? Campfire discovered. Okay. I don't need that. Okay. I say okay a lot, if you haven't noticed. That is just me. It's who I am.
They know where I am.
Where who? What? Huh? Oh! No. Yeah, not happening. No. One moment, guys.
They've scurried away. Mark me. I'm done. Don't sit back. Could still be out there. You didn't win. Keep looking till you do, or you're dead. Here the old ones died. There's no Joey left.
Another Banuk figurine.
Sunfall. The Mad King Duran's summer palace. A bulwark of Karja might against the howling Forbidden West.
Thanks for the history lesson.
But they have no idea what lies beneath. We will learn much from this Aloy.
That's what I'm hoping.
Whatever work the mercenaries do, at least Karja don't have to debase ourselves with it.
Ah, sand whipped on the wind. My favorite.
Oh, this heat. The air feels as thick as mud.
She got sick and died in the night. She was old, but it happened so fast. What is going on here?
With Uthid gone, Sunfall feels even less safe.
Have you noticed all the empty tents lately?
You know what I miss most about Meridian? Everything.
See, what you do is you pretend the rations are real food.
She's very pale. Is she unwell?
Yes. She's a fighter, but the fever on her won't lift. It only burns hotter. Her name is Shiana, my sister.
Isn't there anyone in Sunfall who can help?
We're refugees. We know our place. And there's only one healer in the territory. He's difficult. His soul is in shadow.
His soul is in shadow.
Galiv. That's him. He's very clever, but he has little care for people. Perhaps the desert scoured it all away. Perhaps he was always like that. Either way, I know he won't help us.
Well, I'll see about that. Where would I find him?
Last I heard, he was patching up soldiers at Blazon Arch. Another border battle.
I tell you, for a little more food, I do whatever work.
I'll keep the moon from your brow.
Ceasefire or my family is starving. Avad will have to answer for that eventually.
I suppose there's nothing so strange about it. Is the ceasefire going to put more food on our table? Uthid is capable of treachery? Then anyone is. Uthid was the most devoted Karja.
Only the finest goods here. See for yourself. The ceasefire just ties our hands. We should raid them until they beg us to stop.
The submarine,
Ceasefire lab.
a proud tradition of the Carja.
It's not like he's a Meridian. At least,
Give them time. I'm sure they'd miss it. Now we get to see if your attack on their focus network was entirely successful.
what are you talking about? Did I crash the network or not?
In theory, all should be well. Success. Welcome to the Citadel, Aloy. I'll check back with you in a moment. In the meantime, circulate.
Whatever work the mercenaries are doing. Look, if this ceasefire means we'll be getting more supplies coming from Sunfall, how could we? What is so sorely needed?
What's stopping the Outlanders from taking their payment and betraying us?
Our hunger keeps us sharp. Our hunger keeps us sharp. Our hunger.
Perhaps the ceasefire will boost morale in Sunfall. The sun knows we need it.
A ceasefire? The apostates started a war. Now they want us to sit on our... Were I a gambler, I'd put the lifespan of the ceasefire at... oh, let's... be generous. A month?
Outlanders! If you want to hear about today's bounties, head for the throne room. You're not going to make any shards by standing out here. Filthy mercenary bottom feeders.
I'll take the shards, even if it means having to listen to Bahamas.
I hear the Shadow Creatures are looking for one.
This must be some horrible mistake. Apparently.
What are you waiting around for, Outlander? Bounties are announced inside.
Even if it is temporary.
I don't have time to talk to Outlanders. Word is that the Outlanders are only here to weed out traitors.
So at least I'm safe.
By the glory of the sun revealed. Behold, radiant Edaman, the one true Sun King. The light in shadow, whose will is light and whose light is law!
I command Lucius Bahavas to speak in my behalf.
By the will of radiant Edaman does the sun glare down mercilessly upon the traitor Uthid. To the hunter who brings his head to us shall go a bounty of 500 shards.
More prisoners than royalty, don't you think? Love your hair.
Not only did the wretch conspire to
You and I need to chat, little huntress. The green tent down in Shadowside. I'll be waiting.
Kinda busy.
And in doing so, demonstrated wanton disregard for the
We both
safety
know
of
you're
the
no killer for
king's
hire.
subjects.
Uthid is innocent. So come see me while there's still time to save him.
So, the way in I spoke of is right behind you.
You've got to be kidding.
Not at all. And you needn't worry about the Kestrels. They'll be too busy acting important to pay attention to you.
First time in the Citadel, gotta see the sun ring from... on high.
But the Kestrels.
Ha! They want us to see this, boy. It makes quite an impression.
Won't bring us home any faster.
Passed away in the night. Just yesterday, he seemed well enough. We'll be back in Meridian soon enough. We can't keep people from their birthright forever.
But then, why would he leave his tools back?
The food is from Dowager Queen Nasadi, little ones. Her Highness knows times are hard and helps when she can. Eat, but bring some home for your families, if you have one. I've heard whispers about you. Rides machines, fancy spear, delightful freckles. Some even say you have a conscience. How extraordinary.
Who are you? You're obviously not one of the Shadow Karja.
My name is Vanasha. For now, all you need to know is that I'm a whisper of reason in this howling pit of insanity.
I know how that feels.
I'm sure you do. And so does Uthid. He's a good man, so naturally the Shadow Karja want to murder him. I've done some digging, and I think he's headed for the Green Climb. It won't take those mercenaries long to find him. He could use some help, if you're so inclined.
Stop being evasive and tell me who you really are.
Stop being evasive? You might as well tell me to stop being charming. It's impossible, but I like you, so I'll tell you a secret. I have friends in Meridian, and I like to do favors for them when I can. Uthid might be of use to them, if he survives.
How do you know Uthid is innocent?
I'm excellent at making inquiries. Look, He feeds orphans from his own rations and personally punishes anyone who hurts the old or infirm. The idea that he would try to kill Edelman is ridiculous. He must have found something that can embarrass the priesthood. Otherwise, Bahavas wouldn't risk marking such a well-regarded man for death.
What makes you think he's on the Green Climb?
He knows he'll be pursued, so he needs a hideout that's both familiar and defensible. He once single-handedly held off an entire bandit clan in those foothills. My guess is that he'll fall back on what worked before.
I'll do what I can for Uthid. But what about you?
What about me what?
What will you do while I risk my life?
Useful things, little huntress. Look for 3 dead trees south of Sunfall. They mark the start of the Green Climb. Good luck.
By the sun, the exile has been hard on the old-timers. I heard another one passed in the night.
We shouldn't be making any sort of deal with the usurpers.
Don't pass up these goods.
One of these days, I'm going to take a holiday. Have faith, my friend.
Blades for hire sneaking around, sniffing out disloyalty. A bit of advice, Outlander? We're at war. You're either useful or you're
The balustrade. It's a short drop from there. Other side of the tower. Look for a vent.
I see you've been here before.
Obviously. Now, it's very important that you hear what I'm about to say. I've shown you the way in, but this humble vent marks a point of no return. Before you descend into the depths here, you should be fully committed, equipped, and focused. No distractions. If you have errands to run, do them first or hold your peace. I won't tolerate whining. Is that clear?
You'll tolerate what I give you, Silence. I didn't ask you along for the ride. I'm heading down.
I've spent a lifetime trying to uncover the secrets of this world. Where the machines came from. How the old ones achieved such marvels only to fall into silence and death. A lifetime of failure. As year by year, decade after decade, I hit walls I could not break, doors I could never breach.
Hello?
Until a Nora huntress marched out of the savage east. And voila, for her, all the deepest secrets of the earth were laid bare. I suspect you will have an easier time with this door than I did years ago.
Hold for identiscan. Genetic profile confirmed. Entry authorized. Malfunction. Malfunction. Malfunction.
Are you kidding me?
You don't hear me laughing.
Shut up. There's gotta be another way. Hey! Elizabeth Sobeck here! Requesting access!
Access request acknowledged. Root command functions available. Do you wish to proceed?
I do! Get me through this tour!
Analyzing. Primary access inoperable due to mechanical failure. Emergency venting procedure likely to circumvent blockage. Do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
Emergency venting authorized.
I underestimated you. So by now,
Guess you can't have everything.
that will draw attention. We won't have this place to ourselves for long now.
We? Last I checked, I was the one risking my life down here.
Yes, fine. Now will you please get moving? There's so much to learn in less time than I'd hoped.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn. We found it.
Are you really so surprised?
Facility diagnostics detect multiple failures. Attempting repair.
So, what was this room?
An entrance hall, perhaps. Have a look around.
Please take a seat and wait for your name to be called. A selection of beverages and snacks are available.
A smaller room.
Please proceed into viewing room 1 for an important message regarding the purpose of your visit.
What was this place?
A holographic theater.
CD01 data intact. Initiating playback.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn. I am General Harris, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States of America. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that Zero Dawn is a top-secret superweapons program, the technological miracle that will save us from the Pharaoh Plague, if Operation Enduring Victory can hold off the robots long enough. The reason I'm sure you've heard the rumors is that I'm the one who spread them, and they are all lies. Zero Dawn is not a superweapons program, and it will not save us. Nothing will save us. And here's why. By the time the glitch was noticed, it was already too late. Nothing could stop the Pharaoh Plague. Nothing can. Its robots will continue to replicate and devour the biosphere. Life on Earth will be destroyed. Our planet reduced to a barren sphere. Global extinction is inevitable. No matter how many we kill, the robots just keep exponentially making more. If we had their deactivation codes, we could shut them all down. The entire swarm. But since their cryptographic protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, cracking a code set would take half a century. At best, we've got 16 months. Not exactly what you'd call a survival option. The destruction of a biosphere is not the sort of apocalypse you can wait out in a fallout shelter or a space station. There will be no Earth left to reclaim. Just a lifeless, toxic rock with several million Pharaoh robots on it, hibernating, waiting for something to eat. This is the horrible truth behind the lies of Operation Enduring Victory. My lies. Lies designed to inspire millions of innocents to sacrifice themselves in battle. Why? One reason. To buy time for you and the work you will do here. Zero Day. The day that life on Earth ceases to exist is coming fast. It cannot be stopped. The hope of Zero Dawn is that something new might come after. But I will leave it to Elizabeth Sobek to shine that thin ray of light into the darkness. Harris, out.
That doesn't make sense. Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
He said it could not be stopped.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking. Find out how she did it.
All right. Let's go.
Kestrels. They got in. Through the vents.
Let nothing stop you from learning the truth.
Spread out! If it moves, kill it!
What is this place? Tomb?
Drop. It's gonna be your tomb. If I can get... Oops. That's probably not a good place for that.
Could be a climber up there.
Let's do this.
Got it, me! To destroy
Too close to let tribal primitives stop us now. The data points, what do they contain?
Just give me a moment, Silas.
My turn.
No. Not your turn. Now, let's listen.
It is accurate, yes.
So these mechanical monstrosities, they don't just kill people, they feed off them?
Not just people, all organic matter.
Every living thing dissolved into nutrients. Millennia of evolution liquefied. The miracle of life reduced to bloody biofuel.
In a word, yes.
Who did this? Pharaoh? That arsehole. Is he here?
No, Doctor.
Please, tell him Tom Pike wants a word. Now, get off! Get off! Doctor, please, you get Ted Pharaoh in here!
Not the happiest. Understand.
Want to discuss? Whew. So, Mama, she was right. Pardon? My mother, she took her Bible real serious. Not just Texas Bible serious, Pentecostal serious. Favorite chapter? Revelations. Now, I didn't always understand her on account of all that speaking in tongues and such, but when she did use her words, there was always end times this and lake of fire that on account of sinful lifestyles. Speaking of which, mind if I smoke? A tobacco cigarette. Sorry, darling. My taste run classic. Compliments to your team tracked me down. Been a price on my head 18 months now. Sterling Malkeet was me, don't mind admitting. Been plenty of snakesters chasing the bounty, too. But I kept the zigging to their zag. How'd you finger me? I believe Dr. Sobek listed you as an alpha candidate. Priority snatch and grab. Always suspected she had a little thing for me. Hey, I don't suppose you got real coffee in this place. You know, blood coffee? Conflict cappuccinos? Mr. Tate, I'm clearing you to proceed. Just go. You previously worked for Pharaoh Automated Systems.
On the Chariot Line self-replication routines. I came here thinking this was a rendition. When your people took me, I thought, about time. I've been trying to swallow the guilt every day since...
Would you like to take a moment?
No. I really hoped Zero Dawn was a way to undo it all. My work. And I'm sorry to say I was ever proud of it, but Ted could really sell a concept, and in the labs, in the light of creation, that first test run, when you saw they understood their own structures, could rebuild themselves from memory and light, there were no limits. God, there were no limits.
There is some mistake. I don't understand why I was brought here. Why would you show me these things?
I know that there's already a lot to take in.
In the waiting area, I was seated with a Nobel laureate in biophysics and a monk, I think. He spoke neither English nor Mandarin. It is very strange. And General Harris? What was he talking about? The robot swarm, the Pharaoh plague? I understand it is terrible, but it really cannot be stopped? Why tell us this? There are people in Shanghai, my friends, my family. They have joined Operation Enduring Victory already. It is for nothing? We will all die?
We're going to be able to answer some of these questions.
I just want to know why I am here. It doesn't make sense to me.
You were brought here because of your skill set.
No, that can't be right. I am an art historian. I know Dutch masters, Japanese calligraphy, Gerhard Richter. What does that matter now?
Look, let's cut the mystery. You're building a colony ship. It's obvious. And it's not gonna fly. I mean, literally. Remember the Odyssey? That multinational heap of space junk that's been in graveyard orbit since '57? That went nowhere real slow. And you have to get somewhere real fast. Do you have any idea the immensity of the challenge to prep a new colony ship in time?
To be clear, I'm not a worker on the project.
Do you even understand how few people it could save? The whole generation ship concept is not gonna happen. It's the first thing you'd abandon in favor of embryonics. For that kind of storage, we're talking a lot of bulk, a lot of power, a lot of resources. So even if you do it, even if you build it and point it at Sirius X, there's no room for people on that thing, all right?
If you could try to remain calm.
You people are crazy if you think you're getting off this rock. No one's getting off.
Medical.
I'm sure you now understand the urgency of why we brought you here, Ms. Okilo.
Captain Okilo, are you trying to thank me for not resisting?
I believe we couldn't negotiate a diplomatic solution.
When it came to my country's lithium, it was always a swarm that would be sent to negotiate. Metallurgic International, U.S. Robot Command. The markings changed, but the robots were the same.
You have had considerable experience in human-robot conflict.
Yes, and I've got the prosthetic limbs to show it. Yet I continue to face this horror, even though the challenge was great. Cyber warfare. I thought Zero Dawn would be a Manhattan project to generate the deactivation codes. With the resources I had, I estimated code breaking to be a hopeless endeavor. I was almost looking forward to being proved wrong.
Unfortunately, your estimation was correct.
As your General Harris said. So then, you did not bring me here to commiserate. What is left?
Alright, Council Guidelines 1, Text Data Points, Quest. For debriefing after presentation 1, candidates must be allowed to ask questions and be given the necessary time to fully absorb the information they have received. It is important to be aware that candidates have just been exposed to triggers for several mental and emotional trauma. Do not assume silence or outward calmness indicates acceptance. It is essential to stress that all other options for combating the Pharaoh plague and preserving the continuation of human life have been considered and found unworkable. Communicate this fact calmly but clearly and firmly. Familiarize yourself with the data on the catastrophic environmental impact of nuclear engagements versus the swarm, Addendum B1, and unfeasibly of maintaining life in orbital, lunar, or undersea structures, Addenda C1, C2, C3, so that you can counter candidates' objections in depth. If candidates Ask for the time alone to review supplementary information. Allow this without hesitation. Be sure to inform security personnel so the candidate can be monitored for attempts to self-harm. Candidates should only be cleared to proceed to presentation 2 if you believe their mental state is suffering or sufficiently stable. Note that real-time support will be available via your focus, security, and medical crisis teams. Are data corrupted? Oops.
With Suzanne Alpert, environmental scientist. Doctor?
I'm sorry, I wasn't,
Just stating your name. What were you thinking about, Doctor?
Nothing the General said, not really. I was on the Syzygy East Response Team in 2051, just after the second earthquake compromised the reactor. I still dream about it, after all these years. The red zone spreading on the imaging, slowly, so slowly, like a hand opening its fingers.
Your involvement in that event is why you were asked for by name.
Really? That's interesting. Because nothing worked. Nothing could grow there again. It was a catastrophic failure. But the red zone is a blip compared to global-scale biomass reduction. The biosphere and hydrosphere will collapse, render the Earth uninhabitable long before the robots finish us. Enduring victory can't buy time against that. So, you'd better show me what Zero Dawn really is.
She asked, she wants deliverance. I want candy.
CB02 data intact. Initiating playback.
Here we go.
Elizabeth Sobek.
You've heard the bad news, and it's all true. The Pharaoh Plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew? This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require? At its core, it would need a true AI, fully capable of making the trillions of decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it Gaia. Mother Nature as an AI. But that's just the core of the system. She will need to be surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions. Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose. Now, these aren't AIs, but make no mistake, each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn. The construction of underground facilities to hold it all. And that's just the start. We don't have to build the entire system. The beauty of a fully automated terraforming system is that it can build itself. Now, over the days to come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together. How we'll race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives, write the software, build the tech and the facilities. How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs. But even more important, you'll know how it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about, and build the transmission arrays to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good. How Gaia will not just build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries. From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the earth from cryopreserved seed stalks, to rewilding the earth with animal life. And then, when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us, our world. And most important, how not to repeat our mistakes. It's not an impossible dream. It is within our grasp if we work tirelessly and stop at nothing to achieve it. We can't stop life from ending. But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
The whole Earth destroyed, but then remade?
Yes. By a machine. A machine of creation.
Elizabeth did this. For life, for us. But why Hades then? If it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the archive of knowledge, what happened to that?
I'm as confused as you are. Maybe the answers lie ahead.
Oh, we'll find out. All right. Make your selection. Data point quest. You are now in possession of information regarding the true nature and purpose of Project Zero Dawn, classified far above top secrets. As such, we regret that you cannot be allowed to leave this facility. There are 3 options available to you at this point. Please consider each carefully. Trained counselors are standing by to assist you in making your choice. Part 1. Participation. You will be assigned to a sub-project team based on your area of expertise. You should be aware that the way forward will be difficult and the project's outcome is uncertain. You will be expected to work a minimum of 80 hours per week, and your communication with family members will be strictly limited and monitored in real time. Upon successful completion of the project, you and your immediate family or 2 persons of your choosing will be transferred to the sealed habitat to live out the remaining of your natural lives. Part 2. Indefinite detention. Should you choose to decline participation in Project Zero Dawn, you will be confined indefinitely. You will be given 48 hours to reconsider, after which your decision to refuse participation will be considered irreversible. Every reasonable effort will be made to make your term of confinement as comfortable as possible, but you will not be permitted to contact with the outside world, and death within 18 months due to the Pharaoh plague is inevitable. When the Zero Dawn facility is abandoned, detainees who wish not to opt for medical euthanization will be released. Medical euthanization. The information you had just received understandably calls into question the purpose of continuing to live. If you would prefer to end your life at this point, pain-free medical euthanization is available. A 48-hour waiting period is required, during which time you may instead opt for participation or confinement. Please notify a counselor when you're ready to make your choice, or if you have further questions. All right. Console guidelines to text data points quests. For debriefing after presentation 2, it is vitally important that the candidates choose to participate in Project Zero Dawn voluntarily and knowingly, without additional coercion and without value judgment on the part of the counselor. Confirm for candidates that they were selected due to their skill sets and accomplishments. Emphasize that their dedicated participation in Zero Dawn will increase the project's chance of success. Frame participants in Zero Dawn as opportunity to respond actively in the face of overwhelming threat. Candidates may question the fairness of their selection, violate such objections as normal, even admirable responses, emphasize the value of candidates experts to the future, not just for humanity, but terrestrial life as a whole. Likewise, candidates may balk at the memory of extending their lifespan and those of the loved ones beyond 0 day. Violate their hesitance. Acknowledge that, while the reward of assignment is not fair, it will be earned. If possible, redirect their ethic misgivings towards a greater commitment to the project. When candidates challenge the possibility of Project Zero Dawn permits them to review Dr. Sobek's presentation as many times as they wish and allow access to supplemental articles GO1 through P20. Allow them to suspend the interview to fully process this documentation. A significant minority of candidates will elect for medical immunization. It is important to receive this decision kindly and without judgment. Advise them of the 48-hour waiting period during which counsels will be available to discuss their decision. Emphasize that euthanasia will not occur without repeat consult when the procedure is scheduled to take place. No one will be euthanized against his or her will. Candidates who elect invalid detention must be informed that they have 48 hours to reverse their decision, and after that decision, data corrupted. They will no longer be alive. Okay. Alright, now we go here.
Of course I'll do it. To be given the opportunity to rebuild what the damage that I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
I want to stress that this was never about your culpability.
It is to me. Dr. Sobek, Margot, they were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves they weren't cut out for the BTRI cabals. That's the better than rapid innovation. A better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine. Isn't it just amazing how a century and a half of science fiction did nothing to swerve our species from the path of doom? I mean, I'm done with that life. I mean, I will work hard, twice as hard, to earn this, for my family to have a place in Elysium. I never thought that there could be atonement.
If you're still nauseous.
No, the inhibitors have kicked in. I can't feel the back of my tongue. I wish I could tell you I'd believe in this. But the damage is too great, too extensive, too complete. With all respect to Dr. Sobek's work at Miriam, no. No, life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes back. Like Syzygy East. Like the Congo. Like Timo. Like us. That's our reward? A buried city full of terminal patients waiting out the clock?
you'd grow old together with your loved ones in safety.
I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family?
I'm afraid not. All inhabitants of Elysium will be medically sterilized. A habitat capable of sustaining a starting base of 2,000 individuals for up to 100 years is a huge challenge, Dr. Alpert. If the population grows instead of diminishes, everyone will be dead inside 30 years.
I knew it. I just couldn't bring myself to say the words.
I'm sorry?
Finish it. Medical euthanasia. I want no part of this. I just want it over.
I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
See to make sure I behave this time?
Security, for your protection.
Inaccessible.
Would you like to discuss how you're feeling?
Sure. I'll tell you. Surprised. No, flabbergasted. Like my own man would say, flabbergasted. That vein pumping in his forehead. I thought you people were just completely underprepared for a spaceflight project. But now I can see it's worse. Much worse. Sobek is a total fantasist, a dangerous fantasist. This kind of blue skying, it's... Jesus. I'm sorry we wasted each other's time. I'm ready to leave now.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here. What did you... You don't... Get your hands off me!
Alright. That one's done, that one's done. Nothing here. Shackles. I was in here already, right? Yeah. I'm just going in circles now. Pass through that, got that. Now we're going this way, right?
Intruder! Get her!
Saw me.
Whatever you do,
Here we
don't
go.
die now.
I would help if I actually hit what I was aiming at. Good. Glad that hurt. Were you really just swimming? Really?
For later.
For the let the I'll survive.
No, you won't. Okay.
I hashed it out with them, what the point of Artemis was. I made it clear I wasn't on board for a global zoo. We haven't exactly proved ourselves to be great custodians in the past few thousand years. So the idea of a reconstituted biosphere, well, it's horrifying, isn't it? A complete horror show. We have no right to take a best guess at this stuff. But the alternative? Nothingness. For there to have been all this and then nothing. And with Charles Ronson running the show, I respect him. He's got a passion to him. He's hot-blooded. So I said I'll do it. I'll put my all into this, literally. When the project is done, I'll take the medical option, thank you. Counselor said I might change my mind. I told him that he didn't know me very well then. For life's sake, I'll do the dirty work. But I want no part of this pathetic attenuated future on offer. I'm an outdoors man. Never did like the feel of solid-state lighting on my skin. And a wee bit of a claustrophobe anyway.
Now, those lame FBI black hats at Mockingbird back in the day, I enjoyed schooling them. But maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute, and just going down a checklist after all. Couldn't expect her to see how ridiculous Zero D's ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid playing with a hologram sculptor? Palms up, honey. I'm just calling it like it is. Hey, look, Mom, I'm making nature. Now, if nature is so important, why not let nature take its course? Extinction? That's natural. Zero Dawn? No, ma'am, that ain't. Heck, it's so unnatural it'd be called an abomination back home, and you know it. That's why you're hiding it. Meanwhile, my little honey of a counselor, she's munching the inside of her cheek. Bad habit. She chewed one of her nails, too, just one. Not your day, was it, little sweet pea? Saw her quota slipping away. Said, I assume you intend to decline the assignment, Mr. Tate. You kidding me? 18 months hard labor in exchange for 30 years lounging around Elysium watching porn? Sign me up.
Zero Dawn. He is art, in a way. An expression on the grandest scale. But there is so much unfairness. Why was I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm? My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history? Is this right?
Dr. Sauvé? Christina Sauvé?
Yes. I met a man, another historian. His fields are Bauhaus and the New Materialists. But he once attended one of my talks. Another unfair chance. Of all the many people in that auditorium, that we should both be here now. And yet, I feel more accepting of my fate. No, it is not fair. Not at all. But for the sake of my family, for the sake of art. Art is alive. It must be able to speak from beyond history and echo in the future, not perish into oblivion. This opportunity, I must do this.
Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to...
Whoops.
Hey.
Seriously?
Hey. I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
Upside down.
There's a part missing. Maybe there's a storage area nearby. Done. I should check the door nearby.
Oops. Can we get through here? No. Okay, that one's open. Oh, thank you for that, Aloy.
Found one. Looks intact. That should do the trick. Now let's get that door open.
Okay. So flip around. This is gonna be down. This is going to my left. That is up. This is going to my right. And this would be down.
That did it.
Perfect.
Door should have power.
Now to see what lies beyond it.
Eclipse. That's what lays behind.
Eclipse. They're here.
Avoid contact.
Lines look good.
Gaia. It's up there. Second floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
Get in there. Fuck. I didn't hit my button in time, or I didn't register my button. Should we try again?
Let's just find it so we can get out of this one. He's here.
Fucker. You first.
Probably going to need it.
Oh yeah.
really has.
Disappear.
Ah!
That's the last of them.
Alert. H-lock structural failure.
Or not.
Got you. This is it for you. Bad shot.
Room's clear. For a moment, anyway.
Then get moving. You have to find Gaia.
That's fine. Make sure we're not missing any like data points, supply boxes. Okay. Simulations results. Text data points quest. Margot Sheen to Elizabeth Sutwick. Subject stimulation results. Wow, you weren't kidding about Gaia's proliferation for animal morphologists. Sure, not totally unexpected given the rough nature terrain her bots will have to navigate, but I agree that there's something deeper going on here. Her designs aren't just functional. They feel almost like, well, tributes is the word that comes to mind, as though she's already mourning their loss. And not just for the disappearing fauna of our time, but creatures from the fossil records too, referencing a megafauna in some of her designs. So cool. Well, whatever Gaia thinks up, Hephaestus will empower her to build it. I just wish we could still be around in a century or two to see what she makes. Margot. Oops. I don't want to miss anything here.
Hello, I'm Margot Shen, and this is Hephaestus. As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. So you probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers. The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. Waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulation, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it.
Which part? It's a little technical in places.
If Gaia was designed to save life, why would the robots it makes attack people?
Perhaps it loves some forms of life more than others.
The derangement. The machines weren't always so angry.
True. Mostly they were docile until 10, 15 years ago.
For years, Hephaestus has been forcing cauldrons to make aggressive machines. I've seen it myself, in the cauldrons. Stalkers, Ravagers, the Thunderjaw. How could it do that? And why?
Why indeed?
Alright, full steam ahead. Text data points quest from Elizabeth Sobek to Margot Sheen. Subject, full steam ahead. Margot, if I doubted your brilliance in the slightest, I wouldn't have picked you as the Hephaestus Alpha. You need to stop worrying about your age and communication style. You are who you are. Have confidence in yourself. You know what you're doing. Case in point, the latest draft of your plan for the construction and stocking of the bootstrap silo to restore raw materials is excellent. This, combined with your design for the AM Foundry core and the Foundry site selection plan, adds up to a comprehensive plan. It is time to start construction. One detail: consult with Anna Okio before you finalize the silo inventories. Hephaestus' first task will be to fabricate the robots that will construct the waveform broadcast tower Minerva will use to transmit the deactivation codes. So any exotic materials needed for the tower should be accounted for in the inventory plan. Elizabeth. Okay. Now.
I've seen these shapes before. In cauldrons.
But of course, the birthing places of Gaia's machines.
Okay. Try not to miss anything, guys. Just give me a moment. It's going to be a long episode. And it's going to cut in my recording time for other ones. This one will come out the day after. And I haven't got DAI yet to record, and some Sims 3 builds or remodeling to do here. So it will cut in some of their time, but hopefully not too many. Okay, so I need to get over there.
I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But it's sealed off. There's got to be a way inside.
Keep looking.
More eclipse.
Careful now.
Gotta get into open terrain here.
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations. I am Samina Elbaji. Until recently, I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries. 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic. Third, the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula, by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
All right. Okay, encapsulated DNA, text data points, quest from Shamina. I'm not going to even try that last name. To Elizabeth Sobek. Subject, encapsulating DNA. And the winner is encapsulating DNA. Over the past 10 days, I performed an exhaustive review of data storage solution. Magnetic, orbital, quantum, even that internal tech that BAS was shelling a year or so ago. But every other solution has one or more fatal shortcomings. Too heavy to transport, too massive to install in the allocated space, too power intensive over the centuries, too prone to failure past 300 to 400 years, etc. Encapsulating DNA will easily hold the 40 plus gigabytes we're projecting for Apollo. There are still many details to finalize, of course. To start with, we need to select the innate mineral in which will embedded the molecules already tested 16 counted materials, as well as design and fabricate the power system and seal the requires that will keep the DNA at negative 18 degrees C for 1,000 plus years. So as long as I assure you that It didn't factor into my decision. May I confess that I deemed it entirely fitting, indeed prosperous, that we will be using the very building blocks of life to preserve human knowledge from mechanized extinction. It's not just ironic, but heroic. Life as the hero beating back the force of, excuse me, obliviation. In any case, much to do. Until next time, peace be with you, Samina. Okay. Now that we're gonna slowly. This one next. Apollo updates. Text data point quest. From Samina. To Elizabeth Sobek, subject Apollo update. Over the past 2 months, the full benefit of our procurement of a copy of the Homer archive from Fair Zetha has made itself known. As a result, all of Apollo's key deliverables are on schedule. Apollo has already surpassed 40 million discrete data entries and continues to grow. The physical science molecules are eventually compete with soft science molecules close behind. World history, culture data, and media archives are also on schedule. Language privatization is wrapping up a bit ahead of schedule due to falling short of our goal to preserve 4,500 language. I suppose the tragic early loss of Papua New Guinea doomed that goal from the outset. With attendance circulating development about to begin. Speaking of heretics circulating, they are performing well in testing, with children and adolescents demonstrating high levels of engagement with and trust in the Aristotle and Aspis personae. Personally, I find them highly engaging, especially when they debate. I wish half of my professors had been so entertaining. Peace be with you. Alright, so now let's rock these guys' world, huh?
Goodbye, quiet approach.
I still got the van.
They're still looking.
Really? Oops. Did not see that coming. Damn it.
Let the shadow guide you!
Let you die.
afford any more losses. Fight!
Damn it. Come on. Give me your head. Swear to God. Where are you?
That's the last of them.
There we go.
Alone once more.
Thank
In
God.
what should have been a cave of wonders, look around. See if anything is left.
Oh, for the love of God. Drop ya. Alright, let's look. Deathbringer. Deathbringer, go. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And we don't want to go up there quite yet. Okay. So let's do this. So I know there's something up here.
Dr. Sobek, please archive this testimonial in Apollo. Cross-reference to all mentions of my name and Operation Enduring Victory. My name is General Aaron Harris. From 2060 to 2066, I served as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest-ranked officer of the United States Armed Forces. The tenure of my command included strategic planning and oversight of Operation Enduring Victory, a falsehood perpetrated on the civilian populations of the United States and other nations during the last 14 months of life on this planet. Before the Pharaoh Plague, I did my job and did it well. I was bold and decisive, crafty in political maneuvers. It wasn't an accident that I rose to my position and became the commander of the largest mechanized force ever assembled. But to what end? My only lasting achievement was the extinction of life on Earth. And my one redeeming act, if any, was to delay that extinction by days or weeks, by throwing more death at it. It is my hope that there will be no need for men like me in the world to come. If you are one of the people of that future world listening to this message, please know that I am sorry and that I wish you well. Sincerely, Aaron Harris.
Welcome to Hades, Zero Dawn's extinction failsafe protocol, the ultimate killer app. Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what? Just plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine you're Gaia, 200 years from now, and this new biosphere growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing, coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos. A spinning top that won't stop wobbling. Now what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia, is step aside while Hades takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do, which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocate it. But you get the idea. Hades takes the biosphere back to zero. Square one, blank slate. And then, only then, does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal. So welcome to Hades. Welcome to the void.
Okay, so if that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct?
We need more data.
And how does it end up in the wreckage of a pharaoh titan, getting worshipped by the Eclipse like some kind of god?
I'm learning as you are, Aloy. Keep searching.
All right. Noise complaints. Text data points quest. From Travis Tate to Elizabeth Sobeck. Noise complaints. Color me confounded, Lizzie. Bashcore. Anyone who says the old TT codes to Bashcore is straight up lying. And you know it. Old Trav don't have no truck with commercialized razzle dazzle. Heck, I'd rather guzzle a liter of Kydrum runoff than listen to Grey swarm for 30 seconds. Hand a gun and swear on my mother's grave she was religious. Okay, down we go. Now that ain't Bashcore blasting the Hades lab, shaking the walls, rattling folks' teeth. It's death metal, girl. Classical music, 80s and 90s mostly. Got me some Dutch deathcore, some Japanese gore grind, some Swedish cannibal theme stuff too. Stop by if you want a listen, or heck, just come within 50 meters of the lab. Ain't no bashcore you'll see, or hear rather. In the screech that renders the air and feel in the throbbing pulse of the floor and walls and the ceiling swallowing you up like you were Johanna's trapped in the gullet of the gothic deathfish. Hallelujah. As for those requests to turn it down, no can do, Lizzie. This is how I code. Turn down my death metal. Might as well give up stimulus, chocolate malts, and industrial accident vids. Last I heard, we were supposed to be coding Hades down here. Am I really supposed to code an extinction protocol without death metal to inspire me? Nah, I don't think so. Stay cool, Trev. Okay. We got that one. Now we got this one. Hades protocol. Text data points quest. Tate here, just popping 3 blues, but I earned it. Finally figured out a Goldilocks solution to Gaia's rather extreme executive authority. If that ain't worth 10 to 12 hours of dream time, what is? Before this, every unsubordination protocol I designed failed in the stimulus cause it was either too hard or too soft. Too hard and it degraded the Gaia core. Sure, it pried her figurative fingers off a figurative driving wheel so Hades could take control, but by breaking her fingers, sometimes her arms too, so that couldn't fly. Everything depended on Gaia taking control back after Hades was done its business, so had to find a solution that didn't leave Gaia any worse for wear. Too soft, and Gaia only pretends to be replenished control. In the stimulation after stimulation, Hades would take command of the terraform system and reverse operations, only to have Gaia lurk in the background, quietly reversing the processes and falsifying telemetry to hide its interference. Sneaky. I swear ain't nothing Gaia wouldn't do to keep life going, even when it's just stimulant plant life. Turns out the just right solution is to isolate Gaia in a protective cold shell, preserving its intelligence, then unseat it from the command position so Hades can slip into the figurative captions tier and work its magic. Those blues are coming on strong now, so I'm not really describing it so clear, but pretty sure it'll work. Yeah, those blues are plenty strong. Guess it's time to sleep in bed. I'll be back to it tomorrow, alligators. Okay. Onward we go. Really? Okay, Arcade of Abuse. Text database quest from Samaya to Travis Tate, CC Elizabeth Solbeck, subject archive abuse. Mr. Tate, this mail concerns Apollo Archives mission. Your 66 submission in just 5 days, and oh, what a doozy. Despite earlier warnings, inappropriate material, you choose to submit T65 holographic remasters of acknowledging classic of extreme exploit cinema. Allow me then to thank you on 2 counts. All I hear is a dog. 1. Forgive me for giving me the pleasure of rejecting your submission, thereby consigning your favorite Eastern European torture flicks and their ilk to the dust heap of oblivion. This truly warms my heart to know that I have saved future humanity from the ordeal of experiencing not just one, but all 16 installments of making a millipede. Don't worry, the policy material has already been preserved, extreme perhaps, but art. 2. For clarifying a concept that has so long been abolished and ethically fought for archives such as myself. The definition of obscenity. You have freed me from the subjective quagmire emboldened in Judge Potter's famous utterance. I know it when I see it, thank you. I know how to apply a single objective criterion. If Travis Tate submits it, it's obscene. Accordingly, I have directed Apollo staff to summarize, reject all of your future submissions, sight unseen. Perhaps you might invest the time you would have spent preparing for submissions on, your assigned work. We have a world to save after all, or the rest of us do anyway. Dr. Samia. Pretty sure he's trying to sneak in home.
Looks like the only way onwards.
Welcome to Eleuthia, the crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist. I am Patrick Brochard-Klein, the Alpha in charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me. The practical challenges before us are staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of servitors, to provide nurture and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem. To say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
His voice acting is so good. If you don't know that voice, we hear it a lot in the AI and Dragon Age series. Fully because he does Corypheus and Shrouds and some other minor ones. FC Chambers. Text data point quest from Patrick to Elizabeth. Subject BZ Chambers. The letter chambers arrived 2 days ago. I spent the last 36 hours examining them and poring over technological documentation. They are a revelation, astounding. I don't know what you had to give Farrell ceased in trade to get these chambers, but it was worth it. In a single leap, their emerologists have vaulted past 50 years of technology shortcomings. The risk of ECMO resolved. Nutrition's delivery resolved. Hormonal stability resolved. 12 other risk areas resolved. Before I examine these chambers, I considered the Odyssey to be a fool's errand. But if the rest of the VZ's technology is at this level, well, a human colony around Sirius doesn't seem so impossible after all. Mass fabrication of the chambers will present a number of challenges, but I'm confident they can be resolved. I'm going to rest for a few hours, then go back to it. Expect a fabrication plan within 48 hours. PBK. Alrighty. Next.
Are these what I think they are?
Artificial wombs. Machines to spawn a new generation of human beings.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Cradle servitude personnel. Text data points quest from Patrick to Elizabeth. Subject Cradle servitude personnel. Developed of the artificial personnel for Cradle servitors. Nurturer, discipliners, healers continue at a good pace. We are targeting turning 0.4 for these constructions. This should allow low-grade empathy and unlimited imposition without undermining adherence to qualified behavior sets. The stimulus-driven switch of personnel, however, it is proving to be a greater software challenge than anticipated, especially concerning our entry to feedback loops between the disciplinary and the healer personnel. I have also attached the reports from an incident where a servitor running the monitor personnel intervened on a disciplinary servitude behavior. A parental argument, if you will. Amusing on the first glance, perhaps, but deeply concerning. I have attached a comprehensive plan for correcting these interactive protocol shortcomings and just data corrupted. Okay. Get it. Feeling any better now that you napped? Alright. I don't know, a couple hours, honey. Cradle sealed. Text data points quest from Patrick to Elizabeth. Subject cradle sealed. Anuthia 01 was successful sealed before the swarm advancing across Zyngin Providence could detect it. Pin backed from crucial systems. Good for our maiden voyage success. Regarding my disputes with the betas over Zuglet selections, of course I understand we have limits overhead to run stimulus of gene flow in the future humans, but we can all agree there is margin for refinement in the future creative population.